Hello, friends and artists. Mrs. Gordon here. I am so crazy excited to do this drawing with you today. I just love it. I hope you are well. So, you have been learning about Mr. Charley Harper, who interestingly enough, was a veteran, right? Served in the armed forces and drew these beautiful birds and all things in nature using geometric shapes. So today we are going to do some drawings inspired by Mr. Charley Harper. We are going to learn how to use just a simple circle tracer. It could be like a cup of yogurt or the top off of, an icing or peanut butter or whatever. And we're going to need a pencil, and you're going to need something to color with. I love my color sticks, so you might want like crayons or colored pencils or markers or paint, even whatever floats your boat. You might want a black marker to outline, but we're going to learn how to make this really awesome cardinal bird, which I always find so festive in December, like such a festive, bright little bird. We're going to be you're going to learn how to draw the bird, and then you get to choose where the bird is and what the bird is doing. So this bird was like looking for some food on a snowy ground. This bird that I just drew, and I'm going to show you how to draw this bird, I think probably, is on a nest with some eggs. All right, but first we're going to start by drawing the bird. So I think I'm going to do this one because I really love how you can make the nest simplified by just using these straight lines. So Charley Harper is, I think, a fantastic artist. I think I'm either going to need to get a little higher up here. Use my yogurt cup. There we go. Now you can see everything. Charley Harper is a fabulous artist who often works by simplifying his shapes, and by not adding all the colors and not adding all the lines, he kind of takes the bird, and simplifies it into just like a circle and some triangles and like maybe a square and some a semicircle, and uses simple lines to create really these beautiful birds. And I'm so enamored with them. I just love them. I think they're so fun. So I'm going to use a circle tracer, and I am going to do this on a vertical piece of paper. You can choose your orientation, horizontal or vertical. I'm going to show you how to do this guy right here. But you could choose to do it horizontal, and you could add, your bird could be like at a bird feeder, it could be on a birdhouse, it could be on a branch, it could be on, like on your deck, like looking for some food in the snow, whatever you're inspired by. So first I'm going to start by lightly tracing all the way around my tracer. That gives me a nice circle. That's going to be like the body of the bird. And then this bird, what I love about this bird is you don't often see birds this way, but this bird is looking straight at you. This bird has its nose full face at you. Most birds that we draw are in profile, so you just see like the side of the bird's head and the beak. But this bird, you see his full face, and that's what makes him so special. At the top of the circle, I'm just going to kind of make a triangle. And then if I want it to look like, those feathers that kind of go up off the top of the bird's head, I can just angle it in a little bit. So it almost becomes like this teardrop shape, right? Or a raindrop. Let's think happy times. Let's not think of tears. Let's think of happiness. And then I'm going to erase the circle, part of the circle that's at the top there, where I added the triangle. So now I've got this beautiful teardrop shape, and that's a great way to make a teardrop. So now I'm going to make the face of the bird. I'm going to start with a straight horizontal line. Oh my gosh, you know what it looks like right now? It looks like food dye, the little containers that food dye come in. And then I'm going to add 2 vertical lines down. This is going to be the start of his face. And I'm going to add a curve like a smile line. And yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine, and mine doesn't have to look perfect. Although I will say that what I was incredibly inspired by learning about Charley Harper is how he made these amazing shapes and lines like freehand. Like he just perfect that way. So I'm going to add some little circles for its eyes. And then I'm going to make his beak. And I'm going to use a horizontal line. It looks like Grumpy Cat now. Meh. And I'm going to turn the top part into a triangle. And I'm going to turn the bottom. I'm going to draw a pointing down triangle underneath. And that's going to be, I'm just going to make a little guide mark for myself. That's going to be his beak. Okay, so just like that, I have most of my bird drawn. The wings are just going to be straight vertical lines down on either side. And if you wanted, you could certainly use a ruler if you wanted. I'm not that worried about it. And then for the texture of the wings, he just added a couple of little lines in there, a couple little straight lines. I think he was a big fan of the straight line and the geometric shapes. So now my bird has wings. And he needs a tail. And look at the shape of that tail. It's just a triangle, and it's a right triangle if you want to, or whatever kind of triangle you want. I'm going to make it a right triangle, straight line up, 90-degree angle, like the corner of a page, and then diagonal line down for its little tail. But you could do whatever kind of triangle you want. You could make it a wide tail. And there is his tail. Just like that, circle, make it into a teardrop, add some details, and we've got this lovely little bird. Okay, so I'm going to add his legs next, and I'm going to do 2. I want him to have like a wider stance. So I'm going to do 2 vertical lines down. Those are his legs. And at the bottom of his legs, I'm just going to add an upside down V. And voila, we got simplified feet, just like Charley Harper. And I'll add a little circle for where his little knees might be. And I'll go ahead and fill these lines in. Now, friends, you can at this point, outline everything that you've just drawn with a black crayon or a black marker, or you can just leave it in pencil. Really no big deal. You choose. Now, this bird was in the snow, but this bird I'm going to make sitting on a nest of some eggs. And I love the idea of this papa bird kind of hanging out with his little eggs that are ready to hatch. And did you know that the female cardinal is actually not nearly as bright as the male cardinal? She's like a more brownish red, and the male cardinal is that really shiny, bright red. But I'm just going to go ahead and draw some eggs at the bottom here. Kind of egg shape. That was a good egg shape. Bravo, Mrs. Gordon. And maybe another one. Now, I feel like these might be kind of big for the eggs that a cardinal would have, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it if it's not perfect either. That was an easy fix. Now, this is my favorite part, drawing the nest, because Charley Harper would take like a crooked branch line or crooked twig line and just make straight lines. So I'm going to make the nest just by adding in all these overlapping twig lines. And it doesn't have to look exactly like a bird's nest. But because of the eggs, I totally know what it is. That's the nest, and the lines are overlapping. And it's really, like a lot of artists kind of simplify things, and it's really a beautiful way to make art because you can use some really basic shapes and explain your ideas, and people will know exactly this. All these little straight lines, these little eggs, is a cardinal sitting on his nest. You could make a background behind, like in this one, I just kind of had just I added a little Charley Harper inspired cloud up in the sky. But maybe on this one, I want to have the horizon line behind him. So maybe this part will be green, my nest, my eggs. I don't know what color cardinal eggs are. I know that robin's eggs are robin's egg blue, like a bluish color. I could have my blue sky. I could add a cloud in my sky. I could add a sun in my sky. But I hope you enjoyed learning how to draw cardinals inspired by the wonderful Mr. Charley Harper. I can't wait to see where your cardinals wind up. Are they on a branch? Are they sipping a Starbucks latte? Are they hanging out at the bird feeder? Are they finding a new home together? Maybe you do a male and a female cardinal. Maybe you do a brownish, like maybe you do two, right? You have like one, and maybe they're getting married. Why not? Or maybe they're just, out for a little fly around. I do often see them together, the brownish cardinal and the red cardinal together, and they are beautiful. But I can't wait to see what you do. I hope you enjoyed this fun art lesson by one of my favorite artists, Mr. Charley Harper. Happy art making, friends.